Crocodile attack on humans. Crocodile attacks on humans are common in places where large crocodilians and native and human populations live. It has been estimated that about 1,000 people are killed by crocodilians each year. The two species with the most well-known and documented reputation for preying on humans are the Nile crocodile and saltwater crocodile, and these are the perpetrators of the vast majority of both fatal and non-fatal crocodilian attacks. Each year, hundreds of deadly attacks are attributed to the Nile crocodile in sub-Saharan Africa. Attacks by saltwater crocodiles often occur in Southeast Asia, Australia, New Guinea, and the Solomon Islands. Reviews indicate that at least half of all attacks by the Nile and saltwater crocodiles are fatal. In Australia, however, only about 25% of saltwater crocodile attacks are fatal. The mugger crocodile is also very dangerous to humans, killing several people in India every year and with a fatality rate that is almost as high. Slightly less than half of all attacks are fatal. Unlike the predatory attacks by Nile and saltwater crocodiles, victims of mugger crocodiles are often not eaten, indicating that many attacks by this species are territorial or defensive rather than predatory. Crocodilians will defend not only themselves, but also their nest and young from anything they perceive as a threat. 8 other species have been involved in fatal attacks on humans, but in far lower numbers than the Nile, saltwater and mugger crocodiles, and also with significantly lower fatality rates. A higher percentage of their attacks are non-fatal. These are the West African crocodile, often considered quite harmless, but has been involved in several attacks, also fatal, American crocodile, only a few documented fatalities. The Morales crocodile, typically considered a relatively non-threatening species, but there have been several fatal attacks. Orinoco crocodile, fatalities recorded in the 1930s and earlier when the species was more common, but today it is very rare. Cuban crocodile, generally considered aggressive, but only one confirmed fatality. Black caiman, fatal attacks confirmed in Brazil, but possibly underreported because of its remote range. American alligator, making up an estimated 6% of fatal crocodilian attacks, and false gharial, only a few confirmed fatalities, all involving very large false gharials. In addition to these, the freshwater crocodile, Philippine crocodile, Siamese crocodile, broad-snouted caiman, spectacled caiman, Care caiman and gharial have been involved in non-fatal attacks. 4 of them, the Siamese crocodile, broad-snouted caiman, spectacled caiman and Care caiman, each are suspected to have been the perpetrator of a single fatal attack on a child, smaller and therefore a more likely target than an adult, although for each of these cases the identity of the species is not completely certain. An accurate count of annual crocodile attacks on humans is difficult to obtain. Many of the areas in which humans and large crocodiles come into contact are remote, impoverished, or in areas of political unrest. Crocodile attacks are not always reported to local authorities, and some reports are difficult to verify. Nevertheless, some information does exist. For example, it was reported by Campfire in Zimbabwe that in the first 10 months of the year in 2005, crocodiles were the #1 cause of death in humans where wildlife was involved, with the number of deaths cited as 13. One study posited the number of attacks by Nile crocodiles per year as 275 to 745, of which 63% are fatal, as opposed to an estimated 30 attacks per year by saltwater crocodiles, of which 50% are fatal. In both species, the mean size of crocodiles involved in non-fatal attacks was about 3 meters, 10 feet, as opposed to a reported range of 2.5 to 5 meters, 8 to 16 feet, or larger for crocodiles responsible for fatal attacks. Since a majority of fatal attacks are believed to be predatory in nature, the Nile crocodile can be considered the most prolific predator of humans among wild animals. The most deaths in a single crocodile attack incident may have occurred during the Battle of Ramri Island, on February 19, 1945, in what is now Myanmar. 900 soldiers of an Imperial Japanese Army unit, in an attempt to retreat from the Royal Navy and rejoin a larger battalion of the Japanese infantry, crossed through 16 kilometers, 10 miles, of mangrove swamps that contained saltwater crocodiles. If you enjoy this video, please click likes and subscribe for another episode of Motivational Quotes. Thank you.